LeBron James is playing in a high-stakes game, the arena roaring with excitement as fans cheer for their teams. The spotlight is on him, the pressure immense. But LeBron thrives in these moments. With his trademark intensity, he commands the court, every move calculated, every shot purposeful. Suddenly, something breaks his focus. His gaze shifts to the crowd, and there, amidst the sea of faces, he sees a face that instantly takes him back to a pivotal chapter of his life. His heart skips a beat. Who is she? Why is she here now? The camera zooms in on the woman, her face a mix of pride and melancholy. She isn't cheering like the others. Instead, her eyes are misty, her hands clasped tightly as if bracing herself. Viewers feel the weight of her presence, the silent story she carries. The tension builds as LeBron struggles to refocus, his usually unshakable demeanor faltering. Who is this woman? And what role does she play in his life? Flashbacks reveal her identity. Miss Grace, LeBron's middle school teacher. She was more than just an educator, she was a guiding light in a time of uncertainty. When LeBron was a young boy, dreaming big but doubting himself, Miss Grace saw his potential and pushed him to believe in his abilities. Her unwavering faith in him shaped the man he is today. Back in the present, the emotional pull intensifies. Why has Miss Grace come tonight? What does she want to tell him? As halftime approaches, LeBron makes an unexpected move toward the stands. Their brief but emotional exchange leaves him visibly shaken, and fans are left with a burning question. What did she say to him? The stage is set for a heart-wrenching story of gratitude, resilience, and the bonds that shape us. The arena is electric. Fans are on their feet, chanting, cheering, and holding their breath at every pass and shot. In the middle of the storm stands LeBron James, a force of nature commanding the court with grace and power. His movements are poetry in motion, each step calculated, each play designed for domination. This game is more than just another competition. It's a battle of skill, legacy, and heart. LeBron thrives in these moments, where the stakes are highest and the spotlight is brightest. The crowd knows they're witnessing greatness, but behind the flawless execution and unyielding focus lies a man defined by more than just his athletic prowess. Off the court, LeBron James is deeply rooted in values that go beyond basketball. His faith has been a cornerstone of his journey, a quiet strength guiding him through victories and defeats alike. Family is his anchor, his greatest pride. He's the devoted husband, the doting father, the role model who teaches his kids not just about winning, but about integrity, kindness, and perseverance. Community, too, is a crucial part of who he is. Through his philanthropic work, especially in education, LeBron has shown the world that his legacy isn't confined to championships, but extends to the lives he has touched and the futures he has helped shape. As he dribbles down the court, juking past defenders and sinking a three-point shot with effortless precision, the crowd roars, but LeBron is momentarily lost in thought. His gaze flickers to the stands again, the weight of the past pulling him in. The face he saw earlier, the one that shook his focus, lingers in his mind. For a man so unshakable, this moment is unusual. Who is she? Why does her presence feel so significant? LeBron is not just the king of the court, he's a man driven by a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility. The game is his battlefield, but his values are the foundation of everything he stands for. Tonight, as the story unfolds, the audience senses that this isn't just about the game. Something deeper is at play, a connection, a memory, and a story yet to be revealed. The curiosity builds, and the viewers are hooked, eager to uncover how this moment will redefine one of the most iconic players of all time. The game is in full swing, the tension in the arena palpable, as LeBron James dominates the court. With each play, he showcases why he's one of the greatest of all time. The crowd roars with every dunk, every steal, every perfectly executed pass. But amidst the chaos of the game, LeBron's focus falters for a split second. His gaze drifts toward the stands, and that's when he sees her, a face from his past, one he never expected to see again, Miss Grace. She's seated just a few rows behind the bench, her hands clasped tightly, her posture composed yet fragile. Her expression is what catches him off guard, a blend of pride and deep sadness. It's a look that seems to carry years of unspoken stories and emotions. For a moment, LeBron wonders if he's imagining it, but as he glances back during a timeout, there's no mistaking it. It's her, the woman who once believed in him when no one else did, who saw greatness in him long before he ever set foot on an NBA court. Miss Grace wasn't just a teacher in his middle school years, she was a lifeline during one of the most challenging times of his life. Back then, LeBron was a lanky kid grappling with self-doubt, his family struggling to make ends meet. Miss Grace had been his anchor, encouraging him not just in academics and basketball, but in life itself. Her words, "LeBron, greatness isn't about where you come from, it's about where you're going," had stayed with him, shaping his path and pushing him to dream bigger. Now, as he watches her in the crowd, memories flood back, the extra hours she spent tutoring him, the times she packed him a lunch when she noticed he didn't have one, and the unwavering belief she had in his potential. Why was she here tonight? And why did her eyes carry such a heavy sadness? LeBron feels a pull, an urgency to reconnect. The game presses on, but a part of him is already planning what he'll say, what he'll ask. Miss Grace wasn't just a figure from his past, she was a reminder of how far he'd come, and the people who helped him get there. The mystery of her presence lingers, and LeBron knows this meeting will be more than just a reunion. It will be a turning point. LeBron James wasn't always the confident, towering figure we know today. Back in his middle school days, he was just a lanky kid navigating the uncertainties of life. Growing up in Akron, Ohio, his family faced countless challenges. Financial instability and a lack of resources weighed heavily on their lives. And for a young LeBron, the future seemed like an uphill battle. But even in those tough times, there was a beacon of hope, a teacher who saw something in him that others overlooked. That teacher was Miss Grace. Miss Grace wasn't just another teacher in the crowded hallways of LeBron's middle school. She had a way of connecting with students, especially those who were struggling. She noticed the subtle signs, the days when LeBron seemed distracted, the afternoons he lingered in the classroom long after the bell rang, as if avoiding the challenges waiting for him at home. Instead of brushing it off, she reached out, her warm and understanding demeanor breaking down the walls he had built to hide his insecurities. For Miss Grace, LeBron wasn't just another student, he was a young man with untapped potential. She saw greatness in him long before the world recognized it. "LeBron," she would say, "your circumstances don't define you. What matters is how you rise above them." Those words became a mantra for him, a source of strength during his most vulnerable moments. Miss Grace went above and beyond the role of a teacher. She mentored him, stayed after school to help him with homework, and even brought him snacks when she noticed he didn't have enough to eat. She became a confidant, listening to his worries and encouraging him to dream beyond the limitations of his environment. When others doubted his future, pointing to his family's struggles as evidence that he might never succeed, Miss Grace stood firm. "You're going to do great things, LeBron," she told him. "You just have to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you." Her unwavering support left an indelible mark on young LeBron. She wasn't just a teacher, she was a source of hope, a reminder that someone cared, and a catalyst for his belief in himself. Those moments of kindness and encouragement became the foundation for the resilience and determination that would later define his journey to greatness. As the halftime buzzer sounded, LeBron James didn't head to the locker room like usual. Instead, he made his way toward the stands, his eyes fixed on the woman who had once been a guiding light in his life. Miss Grace sat there, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, her face a mixture of pride and quiet sorrow. LeBron's towering figure moved through the crowd, but in that moment, he wasn't the global icon. Everyone knew he was just a former student seeking to reconnect with someone who had shaped his journey. When he reached her, Miss Grace's expression softened, and her eyes glistened with tears. "Miss Grace," LeBron said, his voice tinged with emotion. "It's been so long." She smiled warmly, though there was a weariness about her that LeBron couldn't ignore. They exchanged a quick embrace, and for a moment it felt as if time had rewound to those middle school days when she had been his biggest supporter. Their conversation was brief, but deeply emotional. Miss Grace revealed she had been battling a serious illness for months, a fight that had taken a toll on her physically and financially. She hadn't come to seek help, though. "I just wanted to see you play one last time," she said softly, her voice trembling. "To see how far you've come, it fills my heart with joy." LeBron was stunned. The woman who had once given him so much strength now needed support of her own. Her words struck a chord deep within him, reigniting memories of her unwavering belief in him during his most challenging times. As they parted, LeBron promised himself that this wouldn't be the end of her story. Miss Grace had given him hope when he needed it most, and now it was his turn to do the same for her. LeBron James walked back to the court after his emotional conversation with Miss Grace, but his mind was miles away. Her words echoed in his head. "I just wanted to see you play one last time." The thought of her, the woman who had once been his pillar of strength, now fighting a battle she didn't deserve, filled him with a profound sense of urgency. As the second half of the game began, LeBron's focus shifted. His moves on the court were sharper, faster, and more determined, but his heart was elsewhere. By the time the final buzzer sounded, LeBron knew he couldn't let the night end without taking action. As his teammates celebrated their hard-fought victory, LeBron was already making plans. Without hesitation, he reached out to his team and close confidants, outlining what he needed to do. He didn't just see Miss Grace as a figure from his past. To him, she was a symbol of resilience, kindness, and the power of believing in someone. LeBron's gratitude fueled his determination. He promised himself that Miss Grace would not face this battle alone. As he spoke to his manager and personal team later that night, his instructions were clear. Find the best doctors, arrange for her treatment, and ensure she had everything she needed to focus on her recovery. For LeBron, this wasn't about obligation. It was about paying forward the love and belief she had shown him during his most vulnerable years. LeBron's immediate response was a testament to the man he had become, shaped by the values Miss Grace had instilled in him long ago. His promise was more than words. It was a commitment to ensure that Miss Grace felt the same unwavering support she had once given him. LeBron James wasted no time in ensuring Miss Grace received the help she needed. Quietly, he connected with leading medical professionals and arranged for her treatment to be fully covered. He also set up a fund to ease her financial burden, determined to remove any worry from her mind so she could focus solely on her recovery. For LeBron, this wasn't just an act of charity. It was his way of showing gratitude to a woman who had shaped his life in ways words couldn't capture. But LeBron didn't stop there. He decided to celebrate Miss Grace's legacy in the most public and heartfelt way. At the next home game, during a break in the action, LeBron stood center court and took the microphone. The crowd fell silent as he shared her story, recounting her unwavering belief in him during his youth and the pivotal role she had played in his journey. As the audience erupted in applause, Miss Grace, seated courtside, wiped away tears. LeBron's tribute wasn't just a personal acknowledgement. It was a reminder to everyone about the power of mentorship and belief. By honoring Miss Grace, LeBron showed the world that true greatness is measured by how we uplift those who uplift us. LeBron James took his gratitude to an entirely new level by turning his appreciation for Miss Grace into a legacy that would impact generations. He announced a $1 million donation to renovate the community center where Miss Grace had spent decades mentoring young people. This center, once a modest space with limited resources, was now set to become a hub of inspiration and opportunity for the community. The renovation transformed the center into a state-of-the-art facility. It now boasted pristine basketball courts, fully equipped classrooms, a modern computer lab, and an art studio. One of the standout features was a mentorship hub designed to continue the work Miss Grace had devoted her life to guiding and shaping young lives. True to LeBron's vision, every corner of the center reflected Miss Grace's spirit of nurturing and empowerment. The grand reopening was a celebration like no other. Members of the community, former students, and even some of Miss Grace's colleagues gathered to witness this monumental event. The biggest surprise came when the new name of the center was unveiled: the Grace James Youth Empowerment Center, honoring not only Miss Grace, but the ripple effect of her mentorship on LeBron and others. Miss Grace, seated in the front row, was overwhelmed with emotion as she saw her life's work immortalized in such a powerful way. For LeBron, this was more than a donation. It was a promise to uphold her legacy and ensure that her impact would continue to shape young lives for years to come. By investing in the very foundation of his own success, LeBron reminded everyone that true greatness lies in lifting others and paying forward the kindness that shapes us. The grand reopening of the newly renovated community center was a moment of pure joy and heartfelt recognition for Miss Grace. A crowd of excited community members, former students, and local leaders gathered to witness the transformation of the space that had once been a modest haven for youth. Now it gleamed with state-of-the-art facilities, ready to inspire and empower future generations. LeBron James stood at the podium, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. In his heartfelt speech, he paid tribute to Miss Grace, recounting how her unwavering belief in him during his most vulnerable years had laid the foundation for his success. Miss Grace didn't just teach lessons, she changed lives, he said, his gaze fixed on her. She taught me that true strength comes from perseverance, and that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about heart and giving back. Miss Grace, seated in the front row, wiped away tears as the crowd erupted in applause. The ribbon-cutting ceremony itself was a symbolic moment, as LeBron handed the oversized scissors to Miss Grace, allowing her to officially open the center bearing her name. As the ribbon fell, the cheers turned thunderous, solidifying the moment as a celebration of her profound impact and enduring legacy. The legacy of Miss Grace was cemented in an unforgettable celebration that brought together former students, colleagues, and community members whose lives she had touched. The newly renovated community center bearing her name stood as a shining tribute to her decades of dedication. Old faces from her past, many now successful adults, embraced her, sharing stories of how her encouragement had shaped their lives. Her influence, once a quiet ripple, now felt like a powerful wave of inspiration across generations. LeBron James, standing among the crowd, reflected on how Miss Grace's belief in him had steered his path. His actions ensured that her legacy would live on, not just in his life, but in the lives of countless others. The state-of-the-art facilities of the center, now bustling with excitement, symbolized opportunity and hope for the youth of the community. With basketball courts, classrooms, and mentorship programs, it was a space designed to nurture dreams, just as Miss Grace had done for so many. The story came full circle as LeBron joined the kids on the court, his laughter echoing through the vibrant center. Dribbling and passing, he embodied the lessons Miss Grace had taught him: perseverance, humility, and the importance of giving back. As the sun set, the scene stood as a poignant reminder of how one person's kindness can transform lives and ripple through generations. The center, alive with activity and joy, was more than a building, it was a legacy, a testament to Miss Grace's enduring impact, and a beacon of hope for the future.